Man United had a mixed return to Premier League action on Friday night, with a typical game of two halves taking place against Spurs. Solskjaer's side were able to get a point, but where will his starting 11 be in 5 years' time? We used Football Manager 2020 to find out. And for this one we used the original simulation just because it was more interesting. David De Gea, PSG. While on Friday night he was torn a new one by Roy Keane, who described him as one of the most overrated goalkeepers ever, David De Gea is no longer a Red Devil in 2025. After 13 seasons as Man United's number one, he finally headed off for pastures anew in 2024, joining Paris Saint-Germain for a rather sizable £39.5 million. He started well there, but the competition isn't quite as strong. He'd probably have a little snooze in the goal and still keep a clean sheet. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is still there. The former Palace lad is currently in his first season as a Man United player, and he's impressing. And 5 years on, he's still the main man at Old Trafford. Well, in terms of right backs at least, he's basically Gary Neville. Wan-Bissaka has impressed every year of the simulation, doing exactly what you'd want your fullback to do. He's solid defensively and gets the job done without any bells or whistles. Sure, modern day fans want to see assists from their fullbacks, but as long as he can defend, that's good enough for me. Valued at £57 million at the age of 27, Man United would demand a huge fee if anyone wanted to whisk him away from Old Trafford. Victor Lindelof, Celta Vigo. The Swedish defender has had a mixed time in a Man United shirt since arriving in 2017, and on Football Manager his mixed fortunes continued. Sometimes he was excellent and others he was questionable, but he would end his Old Trafford career with a match rating of 6.3. In the summer of 2024, Lindelof was finally on the move, off to take his talents to Spain. Celta Vigo broke their transfer record to sign Lindelof, paying a modest £22.5 million, which is big money for a club like Celta Vigo. His first season went better than any of his Man United campaigns, so maybe he's finally found his home. Harry Maguire, Wolves. Another man who felt the wrath of Roy Keane on Friday night, Harry Maguire has also recently left Old Trafford, joining Wolves in the summer of 2024. The Molyneux side spent £15.25 million for the defender, which is a far cry from the £80 million Man United spent in 2019. Aged 32, Maguire is entering the twilight years of his career, and it seems as though his best days are long gone. But considering he's on £185 a week at Wolves, he's probably not that bothered if he's not that good. Luke Shaw, Southampton. After starting his career at St Mary's, Luke Shaw is back in the year of 2025 and he's had a pretty interesting career during the simulation. He barely featured in a Man United shirt, making 10 league appearances in the first season before being sent out on loan to Sampdoria of all places. Clearly Italy wasn't for Shaw, as he returned to England and joined Everton for £12 million in 2021. He would spend 2 years at Goodison Park before his return to Southampton, but no matter where he's been, he's failed to achieve the potential everyone thought he had when he first burst onto the scene on the south coast. Scott McTominay, Bayer Leverkusen. Super Scott McTominay is no longer a Man United hero in 2025, instead he's hopped on a plane to Germany and tried to prove himself in the Bundesliga. McTominay joined Bayer Leverkusen in 2022 for just shy of £20 million, and he's been just okay in Germany, nothing special, nothing to really make him stand out. But he's a leader over there, and just like for the Scottish national team, he's the vice-captain. Fred, Shakhtar Donetsk. Man United signed Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk, and that's where they sold him to as well. Donetsk paid £15.75 million to bring him back, which is a lot less than Man United paid, and the Brazilian has looked much better in Ukraine, putting in the best seasons of the simulation with his best being an average of 7.44. While they didn't get a lot of money for him, at least Man United decided to cash in when they did. Bruno Fernandes, Tottenham Hotspur. The midfielder is at the heart of everything good about Man United right now, netting the equaliser from the spot on Friday night. But for some reason on this Football Manager simulation, he was sold to Tottenham. They paid £82 million to take him away from Old Trafford, and he's been absolutely worth it, scoring plenty of goals and providing assists from midfield. Man United's loss is Tottenham's gain, and even for £82 million, it's a mystery as to why they decided to let him leave Old Trafford. Daniel James, Mainz. The Welsh winger's career has been weird, and that's putting it mildly. In a Man United shirt, James was really impressive, even if his average ratings didn't match his goals and assists. But in 2021 he was sold to Monaco, with the French side paying just £21.5 million, which isn't a lot of money when it comes to this game. In Ligue 1 he was brilliant, and after just 18 months he was on the move again. Bayern snapped James up for £41.5 million, and in his first 4 Bundesliga games he scored 4 goals. The only issue is, that's all he's played. His first season saw him barely play at all, and now he's on loan at Mainz. It just doesn't make any sense. Marcus Rashford's still there. Unless you want children to starve, Everyone loves Marcus Rashford right now. He's one of the most loved men in England right now for his work off the pitch, and in the virtual world of Football Manager he's adored on the pitch as well. Rashford is still a Man United player, and in every season of the simulation he's hit double figures from out wide. Rashford continues to impress with the number 10 on his back, and he's well on his way to becoming a club legend. Valued at £80 million and on £275,000 a week, he isn't going anywhere either. Anthony Martial, Monaco. While Rashford is a Red Devils hero, things didn't go quite as well for Martial. The Frenchman really struggled for Man United in front of goal, with his best Premier League tally of the simulation being just 7 goals. He even had a year on loan at West Ham, but that didn't go well either. In 2024 he left Man United and returned to Monaco on a free, and that's where things have gotten much better. Martial hit 11 goals in 28 appearances, and his form has made him a target for Fulham, Villarreal, Newcastle and Real Sociedad, but I've no idea why they didn't just try and get him for nothing the summer before. Right, that's the starting 11, let's whiz through some other players and then see what happened to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Phil Jones is now playing in Russia for Krasnodar at the age of 33, having also spent time in France and Turkey. Chris Smalling returned to the club briefly but is long gone, now aged 35 and playing in the MLS for DC United. Brandon Williams is an Everton player after a £24 million move. Nemanja Matic was retired and wanted to be an assistant manager after ending his career in the Chinese Super League with Shanghai Shenhua. Paul Pogba finally got his move away from Old Trafford and is strutting his stuff in the French capital for PSG. Juan Mata is waiting for his first job as a manager. Andres Pereira is an important player for Fulham. Jesse Lingard has rebuilt his career north of the border and is enjoying a renaissance with Celtic. Mason Greenwood is a star at Arsenal after inexplicably being allowed to leave Old Trafford. Odion Ighalo is playing his football in Egypt for Al Hilal after failing to earn a permanent Man United contract. And as for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's the Everton manager after getting the sack from Man United in May 2022. So United fans, you've got still nearly 2 more years of Ole at the wheel. So that's where Man United's last 11 are in the year 2025 according to our Football Manager 2020 simulation. Let us know what you think in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo to make sure you never miss a video. And until next time, we'll see you around.